Who would have known that a giant ape taking on a huge lizard would resurrect the box office on Easter weekend? It's alive. What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to the channel. I have a quick box office update for you all for the first time in what feels like forever. I love talking box office, whether it be predictions or expectations, numbers, all of those things, and we finally have, I think, some really cool things to talk about today in light of the opening of Godzilla vs. Kong. Here's what I also need from you guys. If you like these box office updates, I want to bring them back. Now, we have to have box office to talk about, but if you want to drop your thumbs up down below and let me know in the comments, could this be the beginning of the resurrection of the box office? I'd love to know down below. Now, we already know what it did in China. $70 million opening weekend. That is fantastic. But the box office overseas has been doing a bit better, obviously, than the box office in the United States. Getting people back into the theaters is a challenging thing, especially when your movie is dropping on HBO Max. But we also know that Godzilla vs. Kong is a film that you just have to see on the big screen. Whether you like it or not, I think the enjoyment factor is going to be so much higher if you watch it like I will be in Cinemark XD this weekend. That surround sound and the Dolby. Ooh, it's going to be nice. Now, the projection for the first 5 days of Godzilla vs. Kong has been from $20 to $30 million opening weekend. And when you factor in the fact that theaters have not opened at 100% capacity just yet, and all of the theaters in the U.S. are not open, that's a fairly good number. But again, it's not a number that we're used to seeing when we get these big blockbusters. But as we know, like I've mentioned, this is a film that people want to see on the big screen. So to see this number right here on opening day, $9.6 million on a Wednesday. Granted, it's a holiday weekend, but knowing that the film is also on another platform that a lot of people have, it's number one in the App Store right now, and people are watching it on their small screens. To see this number when I think a lot of people expected maybe 4 to 5 million, doubling that almost, is phenomenal. And that means this film is on track to make far more than $20 million this weekend. Now, we still don't know what the long-term numbers are going to be. Again, it's a holiday weekend. It could absolutely be front-loaded. But to see maybe $40 million opening weekend in the United States when the film is simultaneously on a streaming service and theaters aren't even opened at full capacity, it proves to me that this is a movie that people want to see on the big screen. But it also proves that maybe if a film warrants it, people will want to go out and see it on the biggest screen possible. It also says the box office could survive. And for a while, I was questioning whether or not it would as a whole, but this is the first major note of positivity. We had Wonder Woman, but even Wonder Woman making a little less on opening day. That was during Christmas, right? And everyone knows this is coming to HBO Max. I mean, this is huge for fans of the box office, and it is still going to be interesting measuring a movie's success because we can't just factor in box office numbers this year. We have to factor in whether it be a Disney Plus or an HBO Max, how they perform on those platforms and how they perform in theaters, and somehow find a way to combine those two things. It is very challenging to do box office updates, but I wanted to make this video and show you guys how well it's performing right now, what it's expected to do after this $9.6 million opening, and I need your predictions down below. Do you think this could hit 45 million opening weekend in the United States? Granted, a 5-day weekend, but the theater is still operating at limited capacity. That's absolutely huge. This film is also the first one to play on over 3,000 theaters, which will be reached Friday as Regal reopens 22 of its prime locations in the U.S., including their 42nd Street locations in New York City and L.A. In sum, 655 locations will be added this Friday for a total count of over 3,000 theaters, 3,064 to be exact. 3,000 theaters, over an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, an A cinema score. Godzilla vs. Kong is a massive success, and whether you love the movie or not, it's just good news for filmmaking and films in general. The box office has a heartbeat. It's a bigger heartbeat than I expected, and this spells good things. Now, we have to see what happens past this weekend, maybe with some of the other films coming out, but it proves to me that people will go see these films on the big screen even when they could have access at home, and that is really cool to see. So again, predictions down below. What is your number for this weekend, the 5-day weekend? Is it 35, 40, $45 million in the U.S. only? And do you think this film is a success all the way around? You guys the best. Again, if you like these box office updates, I would love to bring them back, so drop your thumbs up down below. Be sure to subscribe and come back to this channel because we have a lot of reviews for Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Invincible Episode 4 tomorrow. All right.